Hey guys! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Osprey Ozone Duplex 65 travel backpack, and this is a really spacious and comfortable travel bag system. And I say system because this is actually two bags in one. And so when I first saw this, I was a little bit skeptical about the idea of a two-bag travel system, as I am really big into one-bag travel. Especially with something like this, it seemed like it could get very large and kind of unwieldy to use. But as I've been testing this out, I was actually really impressed with how well implemented everything is. So both pieces of the travel system have been great to use. They have a really great build quality, they're very comfortable, and they have really well thought out organizational options. On top of that, integrating the two together or using them apart just works seamlessly. And so if you're somebody who's looking for a solution for maybe longer term travel or just a little bit more versatility than some of the compromises that you have to make with one bag travel, this may be a great option to take a look at. So I'm just really excited to share with you guys. There's a lot of stuff to walk through here, and I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. And so before kicking things off, the first thing that I wanted to mention is that the way that I'm going to do this review is taking a look at the entire system when it's kind of hooked up all together to showcase how big the bag can get and just talk about the experience of using it as one bag, and then I'll talk about each of the individual pieces on their own. And so jumping into the aesthetics, overall the bag has a pretty sleek and minimal look. It definitely looks a little bit less like a travel bag than some of Osprey's other bags. On the front, you can see that it doesn't have as many straps as something like the Osprey Farpoint 40. It still looks like a travel bag just due to its larger size and the fact that it has a lot of handles, and it's really supportive. It looks kind of like a hiking backpack, but overall, the aesthetic manages to look just a little bit sleeker than some of the other bags that I've seen from Osprey. So I really like how it looks, and given that it's such a large bag, this sleeker aesthetic is really helpful for making it not feel just overwhelmingly big. And so moving into the materials, the bag on the outside is made out of a 210D nylon, and then on the bottom and on some other accenting points on the bag, it has a 450D pack cloth. And for the most part, this feels really durable. It feels like it's going to be able to hold up well to rougher usage, and the materials also seem to offer a nice amount of weather resistance. Now, they're fairly lightweight, but the system altogether is pretty heavy. It weighs 4 pounds between the travel bag piece and the backpack, which is definitely going to place this over many stricter airlines' weight restrictions, especially if you load both pieces out a lot. This can definitely get pretty heavy, but due to the materials used here, they do manage to reduce some of the weight there. And then considering how much bag you're actually using when you put this all together, the 4 pounds doesn't seem that bad compared with something like the GoRuck GR2, which comes in at close to 5 pounds, or the Peter McKinnon travel pack that we looked at recently that was also really close to the 5 pound mark. And then on top of that, the bag also has some YKK zippers all around the bag. And so on this main storage area, you can see this really beefy YKK zipper here. This feels really durable. It opens and closes very well. And then it's also lockable. And the teeth on this are a little bit more exposed than I would like to see, but it does have this flap that kind of comes over to help add some additional protection against the weather. So overall, just a really solid build quality with the materials used here, similar to a lot of the other great bags that we've seen from Osprey. And then continuing along the outside, you have two very comfortable handles, one on the side and then one on the top, that are going to make it very easy to help load this into an overhead storage compartment. Also, when you separate the bag out into two pieces and you're using this top piece as a travel bag, this is going to make this very easy to carry like a briefcase when you don't want to wear it on your shoulder. And the handles themselves here feel really durable, and they also have a nice amount of padding, so they're pretty comfortable even when the bag is a little bit more packed out. On the outside, we also have 4 compression straps that are going to be really great for helping to kind of just hold everything in place, especially when the bag isn't fully packed out. This also helps kind of squeeze everything down to help the bag look just a little bit slimmer even when it has a lot of stuff. So really like the addition of these compression straps here. These could also maybe be used for attaching some additional accessories that don't fit on the inside of the bag. And then while we're on the outside, I was really happy to see that the bag does have 2 external water bottle pockets, and these are actually part of the detachable day bag that we'll take a closer look at in a little bit, but it's very nice that you can still use the water bottle pockets even when the full system is all connected, and these offer a nice amount of space. Currently what I have in here is an insulated water bottle from Wander. This is about 20 liters and it fits in there really comfortably, and I like the elastic material used here to be able to hold a variety of sized objects, and it also has a pretty nice depth, so if you have anything a little bit taller, such as a tripod or an umbrella, it should be able to fit in here pretty comfortably. And then moving into the capacity, overall, when everything is placed together, the bag comes in at about 65 liters, which is definitely on the larger end of travel bags. This definitely gets pretty big when you have both pieces of the system fully packed out. It gets pretty heavy, as I mentioned earlier, and it sticks out a little bit more than a lot of the other travel bags that we featured on the channel, as we normally stick to the 35 to 40 liter range. But considering how large the system actually is, it didn't look quite as big as I expected, which I really like. But when the system is all together like this and you're trying to board a flight, I would definitely anticipate that you're gonna have to separate them out so that you can board without having to check this. And then jumping into the straps and the back paneling, overall the full system has been really comfortable to wear, especially considering how heavy it can actually get. Osprey makes some of the most comfortable harness systems that I've tested out, so just a really nice implementation here. Starting with the straps, I really like how these feel. They have a nice amount of padding, they're pretty soft as well, and then on the inside they have this meshy material to help prevent moisture from building up. And then I also like that the straps have a pretty nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders even when it's fully packed out. I do sometimes wish that these had been just maybe a little bit wider, but overall I think the balance works well so that these aren't too overwhelming when you're just using the Daypack piece on its own. And then at the top, you also have some load lifters that are going to allow you to pull the bag closer to your back, especially since this is a larger bag. It's really nice to be able to tweak how this sits on your shoulders just a little bit more for a more comfortable carry. On the straps, you also have an adjustable and removable sternum strap, and you have this little safety whistle here on the strap itself. And then I really like the system that it has here for adjusting. You can just kind of slide this through, and for the most part, this actually feels really secure. And then moving down towards the bottom, there's also a built-in waist belt. You can't actually remove this or tuck this away. Would have been a little bit nice to see, especially when you're using this as a day bag. But the waist belt here is actually really comfortable. It has a nice amount of padding to add that extra bit of support, especially when you have so much weight on your back. This is going to be really useful. And then the bag has a solid frame sheet that goes all throughout, so it gives a lot of structure to the full bag to make it very easy to distribute that weight from your shoulders to your hips. So I really like the implementation of the waist belt here. It's very well integrated, and then you have a nice amount of adjustability to make sure that you can wear this very comfortably. And then moving into the back paneling, this has also felt really comfortable. There's a nice amount of padding here. It has the same sort of padding and mesh material that we saw on the strap, so it just feels really great even when you have a lot of stuff in the bag. And then one thing that I did notice here is that there's not a whole lot of elevation or air channel, so there's not too much airflow while you're wearing this throughout the day, so your back will still tend to get pretty sweaty, especially when you're wearing this for a longer period of time. But besides that, overall, considering just how large this system has been, this has felt really comfortable. And then one thing near the top that I forgot to mention about the harness system is that you can also adjust it for your height. It has this kind of Velcro here that you can loosen up to make sure that you can just kind of fine tune it to have it fit you perfectly. And so now that we've covered what it's like to kind of use this system together, I want to talk a little bit about kind of how to separate it and then dive into the individual pieces. And so in order to keep this all together, it has a variety of attachment points at the top and bottom. So down near the bottom, you have this simple clip that's very easy to loosen up. And then at the top, you have this kind of adjustable lever that you release, and then that starts to separate this out. So the system is really easy to convert back and forth depending on how you want to use it. I love how this is implemented. It feels really secure. So even though the back of this can get really heavy and large, it never feels like this is going to slip out, and it's all very well balanced. So releasing this out, it's very easy to separate, and then you have a really functional day pack and then a really large kind of cargo area. So just a really great system here. And so first up, we're going to dive into the cargo area itself, as it's a little bit simpler and is kind of the main travel bag piece. And so starting off here on the back, the first thing I'll call out is that it has this sort of frame that goes all the way around that really helps everything kind of keep its structure, and then it also helps distribute the weight really effectively. This is why it doesn't feel too overwhelming to wear the bag all together, even when you have stuff in both compartments. And then I really like that the clips all kind of just pull into the inside of the bag. They stay hidden. There's not a whole bunch of straps just kind of flopping around to give a very messy look. And so before flipping this over, one thing that I will call out is that you have this nice little ID tag here where you can place a card to kind of help identify the bag if it happens to get lost or separated from you. But besides that, there's not a whole lot on this side. So flipping this around, we saw kind of the aesthetic of this when the system was all together earlier in the video, but on its own, you can see this is about a 40-liter bag, so this is definitely going to be carry-on friendly. You're going to be able to carry this onto most domestic and international airlines. It has a pretty slim look. I like that it's not super overwhelmingly big, even though it's 40 liters, so that when you're carrying this by a shoulder strap or a handle, it's still not going to be too uncomfortable to use. And so speaking of the shoulder strap, that's the first thing that I'll talk about here. In addition to the handle that you can carry this like a briefcase, it also includes includes a shoulder strap that's really simple. It's just a very simple strap. There's not a whole lot of padding, so I would have liked to have seen maybe, something a little bit softer like we saw on the straps, but for the most part, this strap works well. It has these durable plastic clips that are very easy to get on and off. And then the strap is also really long and adjustable, which is nice. So if you want to use this as a shoulder bag, it's going to be very easy to do so. And then you can also throw this around. If you're just traveling with this and you want to leave the day back at home, you can actually use this as a sling bag. So I really like the adjustability here and the versatility to be able to carry this separate from the day bag with this shoulder strap. And then as far as the organizational options on this piece of the bag is actually really simple. There's just one quick access area. It's a really large, great compartment for anything larger that you want to get to a little bit more quickly. This is going to be a great spot for holding larger pouches or liquids. What I currently have in here is just my Air Dop kit, which is one of the larger Dop kits that I like to travel with. You can see this is just a large, simple space that kind of help add some separation from this main cargo area. And then a really nice thing about this compartment, in addition to its larger volume, is that you can actually access it while you're wearing the system altogether. So for anything that you need to grab while you're going through TSA, this is going to be a really easy spot to reach down and get to it. And then moving into the main area, as I mentioned earlier, it's really nice to have these compression straps on the outside to kind of just help tighten everything down and give this a little bit of a slimmer look. And it also adds some additional kind of protection as you can't open this main area without releasing the compression straps. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And then we have the lockable zipper. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my lock off here. And then this has a full suitcase style opening to make this very easy to pack out. And so very nice durable zipper here, and this comes all the way around. I really like that this part of the compartment is a little bit kind of floppier, which maybe doesn't have as much padding as some other travel bags, but it makes it very easy to just kind of mold around some of the larger items that you might want to take with you. So I really like having these more flexible style bags here, especially for things like packing cubes that aren't really that delicate. And so on the inside, you have some additional compression straps that kind of just help keep everything a little bit neater. It has these little flaps here, and they're very easy to release and adjust. And then on the inside here, I just have all kind of my clothing items. And then because I had so much additional capacity between this and the separate day bag, I was actually able to include a little bit extra stuff than I would normally carry with me. So this is going to be a big benefit if you're somebody who doesn't like to pack that light, or if you're traveling for a longer period of time. So jumping in, the first thing that I have here is a larger double-sided and compressible packing cube from Nomadic. And that's something that I don't normally travel with if I have my other normal packing cubes, but because I had all this leftover space, I just went ahead and threw that in. And then I also have my normal smaller packing cube that has my underwear, socks, and other small clothing items. Next up, I just have a simple pair of flatter sneakers. And then behind those, I just have a pair of Toms, which I take with me on pretty much every trip. And then the last thing that I have in here is my larger double-sided and compressible packing cube from Arquito that has my dress shirts and jeans and other large clothing items. And so now with the compartment a little bit empty, you can see just a really large amount of space here, not a whole lot of internal organization going on. The only thing that you can see here is the volume from that quick access pocket that we saw a little while ago. And so this kind of comes in here a little bit. So if you pack this out a lot, you will have kind of this interesting gap here on the bottom. That's where I kind of tucked in my shoes, but this might also be a great spot to put in a jacket or anything smaller to just kind of help fill out the space. And then moving on to the other side, on the flap, you have a large mesh zippered compartment. I really like how much separation this adds to the main area. This, because it provides so much volume, it's going to be great for holding something like a jacket, a sweater, maybe some of your dirty clothes. It makes it very easy to see into this area because of the mesh material. And I just really like how much this comes out, making it very useful. I didn't really put too much in here as most of my stuff is in packing cubes, but what I did throw in here is the collapsible Nomadic laundry basket that I like to take with me when I have some extra space in a bag, as it's just really convenient. And then I also threw in my Nano Dry packable towel from Matador. So just a really impressive amount of space and flexibility offered by this larger cargo area. And I just really love the versatility of having two separate pieces to travel with and be able to include some of the items that I normally wouldn't pack when I was trying to travel a little bit more minimally. And then moving into the day bag piece itself, I was really impressed with how well implemented and functional this actually is. It has a pretty sleek look, so it's gonna look great even when you're just using this as a day bag. It doesn't look that big. It comes in at about 20 to 25 liters, so it's able to hold quite a bit of stuff, but I really like how sleek the look is. It really hugs your back even when it's packed out with a lot of stuff, so it makes it very easy to navigate crowded areas or for jumping onto public transit. And so just taking a look at the outside, the aesthetic definitely matches the full system. It looks pretty similar to the larger travel bag piece. You just have some branding here at the top with the Osprey logo and then the name of the bag, the Ozone Duplex 65. Besides that, you just have the two external water bottle pockets that we saw a little bit earlier. And as you can see, they're fully usable here when the bag is detached. And then you also have this small loop at the bottom that might be good for hanging something like a bike light. While we're on the outside, really my only complaint as far as the aesthetics about the day bag is the fact that you can't hide the waist belt or remove it. This feels just a little bit overkill for a bag of this size. I would normally not use a waist belt like this, so it would have been nice to be able to at least tuck it away or fully remove it, as it just looks a little bit funky. And then moving into the organizational options for the day bag, things are also kept pretty simple but very effective. On the outside, you just have this one quick access pocket, which I really like how it was implemented. The zipper here has a nice amount of protection. You can see that it's a little bit more covered than the one that we saw on the main compartment earlier, so nice to see that extra bit of protection. And then it's very easy to get into the compartment. I really like how much volume it has, so it's going to make it great for holding some bulkier accessories. And so just plenty of space here. Jumping in, what I currently have here are my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case, and then I also have a USB-C and USB hub for charging my MacBook and some of my other tech accessories. And I just kind of had those floating around here since there was so much leftover space. This would also be a great spot to toss in a jacket or some toiletries while I was moving around throughout my day. And then on the back, you have additional organizational options. So you have some elastic and meshy slip pockets. On this one here on the left, I just have my Apple Magic Mouse. And then in the middle, you have a few additional slots for smaller items such as a pen or a stylus, which is what I currently have here. And then I also have a simple nail clipper. And then next to that, you have another mesh slip pocket. I really like how much volume and elasticity these have, as they're going to be great for holding some of those bulkier accessories such as chargers or maybe a larger hard drive. And then you also have this short lanyard here that has a plastic clip that's going to be a great spot for attaching something like your keys or a multi-tool, which is what I currently have here. And then the last thing in this compartment on the back is a larger zippered area that's going to be great for any of those accessories that you don't want floating around or getting lost. And this also has a nice amount of space, really impressive just how big it is. And so what I currently have here is my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. And then I also have a simple lightning cable to charge my phone and my iPad. Besides that, no sort of internal organization in this pocket, just a nice amount of space and a really nice bright lining to make it very easy to find anything that you need to quickly. And so in order to get into the main area, you actually access that through the back. And so you have to release these load lifter straps here to be able to get inside, which can get a little bit tedious, especially when you want to grab something a little bit more quickly. And so before jumping into the main area, there's also this quick access kind of hidden compartment here on the back, which is going to be a great spot for hiding something a little bit more sensitive, such as a passport or a wallet. What I currently have here is just my Field Notes notebook. And then beyond that, on the back, you have a lockable main area for this day bag, and it has a pretty wide opening that comes all the way down, so you can easily see everything that's in the main area of the bag. It doesn't quite open full clamshell style, which would have been nice. Just kind of have this really wide opening here. And so plenty of space. I was really just impressed with how sleek the bag looked, that it was able to hold as much stuff as it does. So with everything that I packed in here, there's still some leftover space near the top. One thing that I did notice is even with the items that I had here, it was starting to get a little bit difficult to actually place the travel bag piece onto the bag. So the more bulky that you make this, the harder it is to kind of attach everything together. I was still able to make it work, but it did start to get a little bit tight, and I would worry about damage to the harness system if I started to fill this out any more than it currently is. And so jumping into what I currently have here, first up, I have my Levitate portable standing desk, and then I have a full-size moleskin notebook. And then down near the bottom, I have just a simple Maxpedition pouch with some of my smaller EDC items. And then I was also able to pack in my Beat Studio wireless headphones. And then moving on to the other side, you just have a simple zippered area here that has this kind of soft, meshy material. It's a little bit padded, so this might be a good spot to put something like a tablet, which is what I currently have here. I have my iPad mini, and that fits in there very easily. Plenty of space here. I think you could definitely fit a full-size 10-inch tablet. And then the last thing that we're going to take a look at is the laptop sleeve, and it has a really large laptop compartment here, and then it has this Velcro strap to help keep your laptop in place even when you have a smaller device. So plenty of space for up to a 15-inch laptop. Currently what I have in here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, but you can see that there's some leftover space here at the top and also to the sides. I was actually surprised with just how big this actually is. And so the compartment itself offers a pretty nice amount of padding. This sleeve here is more padded than just kind of your standard slip pocket. I wish it was just a little bit thicker, but still a nice amount of protection. And then the compartment is slightly suspended off the bottom of the ground. I do wish it had been pulled up just a little bit more to give that additional peace of mind, but I like that the bottom of the sleeve actually has a nice amount of padding. So regardless, it feels like your device is gonna be well protected, even if you place your bag down a little bit harder. And then pulling my laptop out, very easy to get it in and out. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. No sort of fleece lining on either side of the compartment, but it does come up a nice amount, so that's gonna be great if you have a thicker device. And with the padded sleeve and the rigidity of the back, it just feels like your device is gonna be very well protected throughout the day. So just a really nice implementation here in this main area, and really with this whole kind of day bag piece. I was really impressed with just how usable it was. If you were purchasing just this piece on its own, it'd still be a really durable and comfortable and usable everyday bag. But then when you combine this with the travel bag piece, you really just have a phenomenal system. So if you're looking for a versatile travel system that's gonna work well for longer travel, or just give you a little bit more flexibility and versatility than your standard kind of one bag travel bag, then this is gonna be a great option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Osprey Ozone Duplex 65 over the past couple of weeks. The bags have been really comfortable to wear, they're very well made, they have an awesome organizational layout, and I just really love how unique and well implemented this travel system is. And so you can currently purchase this on Osprey's site or on Amazon for about $165, which I think is a really reasonable price considering the features and build quality that you're getting with the bag, and just the fact that you're kind of getting two bags in one. And on top of that, this also compares really well to other travel bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, it was kind of hard to think of which bags would match up well to this, just because this is really the first really well integrated two-in-one travel system that I've tested out. So the first option that kind of came to mind was the Topo Designs travel backpack, which we looked at a while back, and that's a really solid travel bag all on its own. It has a great build quality, a really nice unique design, a very kind of slim form factor, some nice organizational options. And the thing that made me think about that one when I was using this one is the fact that it has the clips that allow you to attach some of Topo's day bags onto there. So if you're using something like just the Topo Design Standard Pack, the Core Pack, which we've looked at on the channel, or their Global Briefcase, you can actually integrate it into their travel bag to create a pretty similar travel system. I don't think it's quite as well thought out as the system here, but I really love Topo's bags, and they have just some great designs, some really unique features. And if you like their aesthetic and if you're looking for more of a travel system where you can integrate a few bags together, then that's gonna be a good option to check out. If you're just looking for a durable and comfortable bag for one bag traveling, you don't really need this whole two bag system. I also recommend taking a look at the Osprey Farpoint 40. That's been one of the best kind of all around travel bags that we featured. It's very comfortable, it has a solid build quality, and it just comes in at a really great price for anybody who's just getting started and not really sure what travel bag to pick from. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Knackbags Expandable Knack Pack, which is just a really great bag for one bag travel and EDC. It actually has a very unique system where it can expand and compress, so it's kind of the opposite of this two bag system. You actually get both bags kind of integrated into one, and the expandable mechanism that it has works very well. The organizational layout makes it very useful for both travel and daily carry. I really love how everything is integrated into that bag, and it has a really nice kind of professional aesthetic, especially if you're looking for something that you can take into the office or for business travel. So if you're looking for something a little bit more streamlined that's gonna come in at a similar price range and offer a lot of versatility with its expandability, then the Knack Pack is gonna be a great option to check out as well. With that being said, the Osprey Ozone Duplex 65 holds up really well against all those bags, and if you're looking for a durable and comfortable travel system that's gonna give you a lot of versatility and capacity, then this is gonna be one of the best options to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of this travel system and the idea of traveling with two bags like this. And if there are any similar options that you think I should feature on the channel, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending the bags for me to test out. And if you guys found this video useful, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.